Hey guys, Scott here. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about the, I guess, official tournament that Dead by Daylight's running, because this is the first one I've seen them actually tweet about and not really mention a third party of any kind. This is just, they said that they're doing this. So, as far as I can tell, this is as close as we've come to an official Dead by Daylight tournament. The last of which I'm sure you remember with the good old Valhalla memes was an absolute train wreck. So, I'm most certainly looking forward to this one. But I wanted to go over the main point of this video, which is I can't tell what they want Dead by Daylight to be, and I don't think they can tell what they want it to be. They seem to constantly be teetering the line between wanting this to be a casual party game that, just play around with your friends for a little while and a super sweaty esport type game. It seems like they can't make up their mind which one they want to do, and they're simultaneously trying to balance the game for both of them at the same time, which just doesn't really work and just results in a bunch of weird balance mismatches, and basically both people are upset. So right now we actually have a tournament here. I love this deadly game of hide and seek, as if that's what it is at the comp level. But it is, as close to an official tournament as we've actually seen. In-game pricing is mostly just in-game currency, which is not really going to attract, the sweaty tournament players. Sweaty tournament players, if the game is not super fun at that level, are playing for rewards and money and stuff like that. Getting some iridescent shards, of which they probably have billions of by now, is not really going to do anything. So it's not really a huge draw. However, there is a cash prize of basically like $100 per player if you win, which is, I feel like for a company as big as Behavior, you can get more than a streamer raised prize pool like for a third party tournament. But then that it further talks about the point of how seriously are they taking this stuff. I can't tell, because like half of this seems kind of correct and half of it seems like wildly off. For example, this shows that they have some type of an understanding of the balance of killers. For example, the Spirit, the Blight, the Nurse, and the Artist are in a killer pool. Basically, a killer pool is, for that round, only killers from that pool can be played to promote diversity and not only seeing the same two killers every match. So they understand that Spirit, Blight, Nurse, and Artist are basically the top four killers, which is good. And then the map locations are all actually pretty decently balanced. Some skew a bit survivor, some skew a bit killer, but for the most part, they're all pretty balanced maps. There's nothing, we got no fractured cowsheds or anything like that in here. Additionally, they seem to understand what, the weakest killers are. Clown, Legion, Doctor, Nightmare. They're all pretty on the lower end. So they do sort of understand killer balance, which makes me think they have to be talking to some third party of some kind to set this stuff. And the whole idea with killer pools and specified maps for those killers has been done before in tournaments. So that really makes me think they are working with somebody or some organization of some kind loosely to influence their decisions for this. At the same time, they probably aren't, because they also have a scenario where survivor perks are not limited or anything like that. You can have 4 unbreakables, 4 off the records. Like, you can have whatever the hell you want. And as anyone can tell you, in a tournament setting, that shit gets ridiculous, because basically at the highest level, it's just slugging, tunneling, and camping. If you can have perks that negate all of those on every survivor, you're going to be in a really bad spot as killer, and I bet every killer other than like Nurse and Blight, maybe Spirit and Artist, are just going to lose every game. So I don't really understand how they get some of it right, and then some of it is not really right. Additionally, add-ons are limited by the rarity of the add-on and not the add-on itself. And as anyone who has played before can tell you, add-on rarity is usually not really an indicator. Sometimes their iridescent is like their worst add-on, and a brown and yellow are their best. So going by iridescence and rarities and stuff like that is not really the good way to do it. You have to individually look at every single add-on, because they vastly vary in strength. And that's just the rule set of the tournament itself. Now we actually have a tournament series with hundreds and hundreds of people. And if you just look at one of these, it's going to have I can't even, it's a 256 round tournament. It's going to be so many players. And I don't know how they're going to organize this. Like, you would need so many people, because look, there's no tournament mode in this game. There's no spectator mode. There's no real any tournament mechanics in the game at all. The Kill Your Friends custom match system barely works to begin with. It's held together with duct tape. So the whole system is being played on that. And we're going to have so many scenarios. Dude, when you're running a player tournament of 16 people, it's already hard to organize all that stuff. There's already discrepancies. People are saying this happened, and people are saying that this happened. Someone shows a screenshot of this. And at least with the smaller tournaments, everyone is streaming it so you can see what's happening and actually get perspectives from both sides. Or you can at least look at their footage later because they're usually required to like record it. And the big thing is that prevents cheating. You can't really cheat very easily, at least in a tournament like that, because everyone is showing their screen. You're required to do so in most of these that are taken seriously, so you can't cheat. In this tournament, no one's watching shit. Everyone can basically cheat, and there's no regulation for it whatsoever. So the fact that cheating is so easy to do in this game, and the fact that you cannot regulate it whatsoever, means A, people will cheat, B, people won't cheat but get accused of cheating, which will lead to a bunch of arguments and discrepancies. It'll delay matches, and when you have hundreds and hundreds of matches that are happening, and there's a little bit of delay on each one due to a random discrepancy, you have to talk to a moderator, show a screenshot, this guy argues, this guy argues. I feel like this tournament's going to take 6 years to finish. Like, I don't know how the hell they're going to do this, so best of luck if they can make it work. They must have a giant team on this, because if it's only a couple people handling that many people doing this stuff, I mean, it's going to be a nightmare logistically to run. But we'll see how that goes. But the whole point of this video is not just specifically this tournament. It's what the hell do they want the game to be? It seems like they have not known their identity since the game has come out. They don't know what they really want. They constantly teeter between it being a just casual fun game you play with your friends, you know, a party game, as people say, and it toes the line between a kind of sweaty competitive esport game. And it's really hard to tell what they want, because, like, you know, they'll balance things very clearly, not for the highest level. On the flip side, they'll add things like MMR and stuff like that, and then support tournaments and stuff like that. And it sends this mixed message, because if you want your game to be a tournament-ready game, you have to have tournament support for your game. You need to have map seeding. You need to have a actual, like, good spectator mode that functions properly. You need to have, like, a tournament mode. You need to have restrictions and stuff based in the mode. You need to have things that actually make the game tournament ready, so it's not required that a third party implement 3,000 additional rules and, you know, tool sets and things like that to make it barely functional. And then on the flip side, like, they balance things not for high level. And if you want your game to be like that, you have to balance around the highest level. That whole base kit unbreakable thing, that's got to go. You can't do that, because at highest level, that will be way too survivor-sided. But it's very clear they don't want to balance for that level, while simultaneously having things that support having the game played at that level. So it's a constant identity crisis that they don't seem to understand what they themselves want for the game. It's so confusing to me. I can't imagine how confusing it is for them, because they're the ones making and balancing the game. And it seems like they have two separate teams that want two separate things, and they're both working on the game at the same time, which leads to just so much confusion of balance. So, in my opinion, they got to pick one. They got to pick going sweaty, competitive, and balance for that, or stick with it being a party casual game and balance for that. I'm of the opinion it should be balanced for the average player, not a new player, not a super sweaty player. The average to above average player is the key balanced demographic, I think. That's how you retain the highest player base. Because I'm telling you right now, if you balance this game towards the highest level, it dies. That's it. The game will just die. I'm 100% sure of that. Anyone that says otherwise, I think either only plays competitive and is cracked out of their mind, or, like, I don't know, has no friends or something. Like, I don't know what way to describe this better, but if you balance this game around that super sweaty gameplay where tunneling and slugging and, like, that's the main focus of the game, and that's all anyone does, and all anyone does is do the sweatiest thing possible every match, the game will die. I promise it will, because the most boring version of this game is the sweatiest version of this game. And the only way it can be made to work is if you have third-party tournament runners running 5,000 modifications and restrictions and rule sets and all this stuff. If you modify the game in a third-party way, in such a way that it becomes slightly passable, then it's a bit more understandable. But Dead by Daylight won't have that. I guarantee they're never going to have that shit. If they add an actual tournament mode with all these restrictions and stuff built into the game, I will eat my own words, and, you know, maybe it can support that. I don't think that's ever going to happen, so they can't have both. And we're in this scenario where I just don't know what the hell they're balancing for. So that's what I want to talk about. I really don't know what the hell their target audience is, and I don't think they know either. But things like officially supported tournaments and MMR support one thing, but then base kit unbreakable and not, you know, nerfing certain things and buffing certain things, like it, I don't know what they want. I'm curious to hear what you guys think about it, because I don't think you know what they want either. I don't think anyone knows. But I thought it was an interesting discussion to have, and it's cool to see that they are supporting the stuff. But I think it should be left to third parties that can actually do it properly. You know what I mean? But that's it. Thanks for watching. See you next time.